And I am live. Hopefully you can hear me. Hello, welcome to the Onyx Path News. Let's adjust this camera a little. It appears to have slid down since I launched this setup. Hello, welcome. We are here once again for the Onyx Path News. This time quite late at night on a Sunday, at least for those of us in the UK and Europe. But hopefully some of you will check this out after the live recording has finished. If not, and sorry about the lighting at the very beginning of this, if you happen to notice, I've been playing around with it a little. I think I've just gone a bit in the mouth of madness. If you understand that movie reference, kudos to you. But we can go for all kinds of lighting in this room right now, although not all of them are terribly flattering. It seems some of the colors aren't functioning. Oh well, we'll go back to white. Either way. We are here with the Onyx Path News to talk about upcoming releases, releases from the prior week, along with any news and other such things. As ever, if you have any questions, you can pose them as we run through this live, and if it's a question I can answer, I will certainly do so. As ever, we will probably venture into all kinds of tangents and side alleys where you might get clobbered over the head. If that happens, do feel free to stop me or indulge me. It's entirely up to you. So let's talk about the big releases of last week. Well, we had 3 releases, one of which was a book. It was the newest of the Onyx Path Tasty Bits, Karnsteins Cabinet of Curiosities, for they came from beyond the grave. Now, I'm going to break this into 2 parts because, firstly, what is Karnstein's Cabinet of Curiosities? Well, Karnstein's Cabinet of Curiosities is a book of story hooks, artifacts, antagonists, new conditions, and a brand new set on which to play a game of Beyond the Grave, being Karnstein's Curiosity Shop or Cabinet. And the reason I decided I wanted to make this book was, quite frankly, because one of my favorite kinds of horror movie, as those of you who follow me on social media will be aware, is the Portmanteau, the anthology movie, where a bunch of strangers, let's say in this case, goes into a curiosity shop and each one picks up an artifact, at which point the sales assistant looms over and tells them the story, at which point you will then relive a horror story related to that relic, that item, that antique. And I thought that makes it for a fine setting for a tasty bit for They Came From Beyond the Grave. That's basically what Karnstein's Cabinet of Curiosities contains. It's a short book that has a bunch of artifacts with stories attached that you can basically spin off into your own lovely tales. And what is a tasty bit? In case any of you are unaware, every single month Onyx Path releases a new tasty bit. They're short products, so they are used to add new dimensions to an existing game in a way that wouldn't necessarily fuel a full-sized source book, of 100 pages or more. This is something that's supposed to be short, punchy, and we sell them for about $2 a piece. So there's no reason not to pick them up. Karnstein's Cabinet is, for that matter, around $2 in price. You can find it linked below. As I say, we do one of these every single month. It's worth checking out our tasty bits. And what's more, if you've missed any of our releases this month, you can actually go on the onyxpath.com and look up our release roundup. We do it at the end or beginning of every single month, and it will basically tell you everything we've released in the preceding 30 or so days. Now, I've got some comments all commenting on the fact that it's a late night stream. You are quite correct. It's been a very busy weekend for me, aside from a little bit of gaming, but I've managed to catch up. I wanted to get the news in before the end of the week because there will be another news coming up next week, and then hopefully things will start to normalize a little. And we also released 2 sets of wallpaper. Now, you may not be interested in wallpaper. You may think wallpaper isn't for me, but I disagree because unfortunately, you can't see my screens, and I'm not going to do a screen share right now. I have an annoying tendency to download our Onyx Path wallpapers and have them on a slideshow. So I'm always looking at different games. Some of them I've worked on, some of them I haven't, but I'm a big appreciator of role-playing game art in general. And while I wouldn't call myself an expert on either, I know what I like. And It's desktop wallpaper. You can buy it for Legendlore or Exalted Lunars. I'm a big fan of the Lunars art. It was in fact, and this may sound insulting to those of you who are big fans of Exalted. I know one of you is in the comments right now. It was actually the Lunars art that first got me into Exalted. Now think about that, because Exalted has been going for a long, long time. And it never grabbed me until I started looking at the art through Lunars. Don't know what it was in particular. It was during the Kickstarter campaign I started thinking, oh, okay, wow, this is interesting to me. And I think it was because I'm a big fan of Werewolf, and I had never really considered the role of shapeshifters in Exalted before. And I had only ever really seen shapeshifters through the prism of Werewolf the Apocalypse and Werewolf the Forsaken. And now I was able to see it through Exalted, and I was thinking, I actually really appreciate this kind of shapeshifter, this kind of depiction of beast people. And so, yeah. Anyway, you can get Lunar's wallpaper and Legendlore wallpaper. They are both linked below. Please do get them. They're very reasonably priced, and dress up your desktop. Why the hell not? What else do we have? Well, as has been discussed a little on the Onyx Path blog, our next intended crowdfunding campaign is another Exalted one, Exigence, and so a lot of people are looking forward to that. I don't have a release date for you yet, but do keep up on the onyxpath.com to be notified as soon as we know what date that's going live. Hopefully we'll be able to tell you in advance so that you can click on the link and be notified as soon as it goes up. That would be the best world situation, ideal world situation. So yeah, that's what we'll go for. But do keep up with the onyxpath.com in case it gets announced on there before it gets announced on the news. What else do we have for you going on right now? Well, there's been some movement in the development track of all kinds of books. And what I wanted to point out was, rather than go through every single book that's moved along on the schedule, I wanted to explain how we report this kind of information these days. I know that may not sound terribly interesting to you, the idea of reporting the progress on a product, but in the past, we would list every single book and every single game we were working on every single week on the Monday Meeting blog, and state whether it changed from first drafts to red lines, or red lines to finals, or finals to development, or whatever the case. And what we started finding, or what we definitely found by the beginning of this year-ish, was there's so much information. We've got so many products on the go that it's very easy to lose track of anything. It was just too much information being presented. We found the same thing with media. And so now, every single week, we only tell you the products that have moved, but it's at the end of every month that we will tell you every single product that's still on the list. So if you're the kind of person that wants to know everything we're working on, check out the release roundup, that kind of blog, because that will have every single product on. If you're not, and you just want to see what's moving, check out the Monday Meeting blogs, which I always recommend anyway. And speaking of media, if you're interested in media, then check out our Tuesday blogs. That's when we aim to have the blogs go up that advertise the current media spotlight that we have on things like actual plays, reviews, blogs, podcasts, and so on to do with our games. Now, with all that said, I don't think I've got much more to say for tonight's Onyx Path news, so I'm going to bid you a fond good night. I hope you sleep well, and if, like me, you're supposed to have a bank holiday tomorrow on Monday, well, I hope you get to sleep in. I will probably be working, but the rest of the world can have a lovely day off. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you very much to Ikaran, Pavel, and Velvet Tea Cake for tuning in and commenting as the stream went on. But I'm glad I've not been bombarded with questions because I'm a bit tired. I'm going to get some rest. But thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.